This is the story of a cursed videotape that brought terror to everyone who dared to watch it. Hello, I'm your host, and I'm on a quest to uncover the most chilling and unexplained mysteries that haunt our world. And one of those mysteries revolves around a seemingly innocent VHS tape that left a trail of horror in its wake. Now, as someone who's spent countless hours diving into the depths of urban legends and paranormal phenomena, I think I'm qualified to take you on this spin-tingling journey. So, grab your popcorn and maybe a protective amulet as we delve into the terrifying tale of the cursed videotape. You know, when I first heard about this cursed tape, I could unhelp but think of all those times I rented movies from the local video store. Remember those? The excitement of picking out a new release, the disappointment when all the copies were gone. Well, imagine if one of those tapes held a dark secret, a curse that could change your life forever. That's exactly what we're dealing with here, folks. So, let's rewind to where it all began. It was the late 1990s in a small town called Oakwood, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and the biggest excitement is usually the annual fall festival. But all that changed when a mysterious VHS tape started making the rounds. At first, it seemed harmless enough. Just another horror movie, right? Oh, how wrong they were. The tape itself was unremarkable. A plain black case with no label, but the contents, that's where things got weird. Those who watched it described a series of disjointed, nightmarish images. A woman combing her hair in a mirror, only for the reflection to turn and stare directly at the viewer. A well in the middle of a forest with something crawling out of it. A horse's eye dilating in terror, and throughout it all, a sense of dread so palpable you could almost taste it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, it's just a creepy video. What's the big deal? Well, let me tell you, the real horror began after the tape stopped playing, because that's when the curse kicked in. If you dare to keep watching, you might just find out what happened next. But fair warning, once you know, there's no going back. The first victim was a teenager named Emily. She watched the tape at a friend's sleepover, laughing it off as just another bad horror flick. But exactly 7 days later, Emily vanished without a trace. Her room was found in perfect order, bed made, school books neatly stacked. It was as if she'd simply ceased to exist. Then there was Mark, the local video store clerk. He'd watched the tape out of curiosity after so many customers had returned it, complaining about nightmares. 7 days after he popped it into the VCR, Mark was found in his apartment, huddled in a corner, his hair turned completely white. He couldn't speak, couldn't even look at a television without screaming. The pattern continued. 7 days after watching the tape, something terrible would happen. Some people disappeared, others died in freak accidents. A few were found in a state of catatonic terror, unable to describe what they'd seen. The town of Oakwood was gripped by fear. Parents forbade their children from watching TV. The video store went out of business. People started whispering about a curse. But here's where it gets even creepier. As word of the cursed tape spread, it attracted thrill seekers and paranormal investigators. They came to Oakwood, eager to watch the tape and prove it was all just a hoax. And you know what? Some of them walked away unscathed. The curse, it seemed, was selective. But for those it chose, well, let's just say they wished they'd never heard of Oakwood. Now, I've spent years researching this case, talking to witnesses, poring over police reports. And let me tell you, the more I dig, the stranger it gets. There are theories, of course. Some say the tape was created by a vengeful spirit, using modern technology to spread its curse. Others believe it's a government experiment gone wrong, a form of psychological warfare that escaped into the wild. But the question that keeps me up at night is this: where did the tape come from? Who made it, and why? The original tape has never been found. Copies exist, but they're rare and highly sought after by collectors of the macabre. I've never seen it myself. I'm not sure I'd want to, even for the sake of this investigation. Some risks aren't worth taking, you know. What we do know is that the tape's effects weren't limited to Oakwood. Reports of similar incidents started popping up in neighboring towns, then across the state. It was as if the curse was spreading, like a virus jumping from host to host. Each new viewing created a potential new carrier, expanding the curse's reach. One of the most chilling accounts comes from a woman named Olivia. She watched the tape at a friend's house and thought nothing of it. But over the next 7 days, she experienced increasingly terrifying hallucinations. She'd see the woman from the mirror everywhere, in windows, in puddles, even in her soup. On the 7th day, Olivia woke up to find her bedroom filled with water, as if she were at the bottom of a well. She swears she saw something crawling towards her just before she passed out. When she came to, her room was bone dry, but her hair had gone completely gray overnight. Then there's the case of the Thompson family. All 4 of them watched the tape together, thinking it was just another movie night. For the next week, they were plagued by phone calls. No voice on the other end, just the sound of static and what they swore was whispering just below the threshold of hearing. On the 7th night, neighbors reported seeing strange lights coming from the Thompson house. When police arrived, the family was gone. The TV was on, showing nothing but static. To this day, no trace of the Thompsons has ever been found. But perhaps the most disturbing aspect of this curse is its ability to adapt. As VHS tapes became obsolete, reports started coming in of the cursed video appearing on DVDs, then as files shared on the internet. It's as if the curse knows it needs to keep up with technology to survive. In the age of viral videos, the potential for this curse to spread is, well, let us just say it is enough to make you think twice before clicking on that next video link. Now I know some of you might be skeptical. Trust me, I get it. In a world of CGI and deepfakes, it's easy to dismiss this as just another creepy story. But I've seen the fear in the eyes of those who've encountered this curse. I've held the hands of family members still waiting for their loved ones to come home. This is real, folks, and it's still out there. So, what can we do? How do we protect ourselves from a curse that can spread through something as simple as watching a video? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Some say the only way to break the curse is to make a copy of the tape and show it to someone else before your 7 days are up. But that just perpetuates the cycle, doesn't it? Passing the curse on to save yourself, is that really a price we're willing to pay? Others claim that certain rituals or protective symbols can ward off the curse. I've heard of people watching the tape while surrounded by salt circles or wearing blessed amulets. But for every story of someone who supposedly beat the curse, there are dozens more of those who weren't so lucky. As for me, well, I'm still searching for answers. I'm determined to get to the bottom of this mystery, to find out where this cursed tape came from and how to stop it once and for all. But I'll admit, there are times when I wonder if I'm in too deep. Sometimes late at night, I swear I can hear static coming from my TV, even when it's turned off. And just yesterday, I caught a glimpse of a woman in my mirror, combing her hair, but when I turned around, no one was there. So, dear viewers, I leave you with this warning. Be careful what you watch. In this digital age, where videos can spread across the globe in seconds, you never know when you might stumble across something unnatural. Something that wasn't meant for human eyes. Something that might just be watching you back. If you've made it this far, if you've dared to listen to this tale of the cursed videotape, then you're braver than most. But remember, knowledge can be a dangerous thing. Now that you know about the curse, who knows? It might just find its way to you. So if you start seeing strange things, if you feel like you're being watched, or if your phone rings with nothing but static on the other end, well, you'll know why. But hey, don't let that stop you from hitting that subscribe button. After all, if you've only got 7 days left, you might as well spend them watching more videos, right? And if you've had any strange experiences of your own, or if you think you might have encountered this cursed tape, share your story in the comments. Just ... Be careful what you share. You never know who or what might be reading. Until next time, this is your host for Enigma Chronicles, reminding you to keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and maybe, just maybe, your TV unplugged. Sweet dreams, everyone. And remember, 7 days.